In today's video, I'll be covering 3 ETFs that you should have on your watch list for 2021, in my opinion. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jason, and on this channel, you'll find videos on personal finance, investing, and money-related topics. If you're ready to jump into today's video and excited for future videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content, and it also helps grow the channel. Also, if you like videos like this, be sure to smash the like button so I know to make more videos like this in the future. And just a quick side note, I am not a financial advisor, so whenever you're investing into anything, always do your own research or consult a professional. And this video is just for entertainment purposes only, and everything I say in this video is my personal opinion. With that being said, let's jump right into today's top 3 ETFs that you should have on your watch list for 2021. First one on the list is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, and the ticker symbol on this is VOO. Now, this ETF invests in stocks that are in the S&P 500 index, which represent 500 of the largest US companies. And the goal with this ETF is to closely track the index's return. And the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF also offers high potential for investment growth. And if you're looking for a great ETF to have in your portfolio, this would be one of them. And compared to mutual funds, ETFs generally have a low expense ratio, and the expense ratio for the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF is sitting at 0.03%, which is extremely low. And at the time of recording this video, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF currently trades at $345.37. And if we pull up the 1-year chart for the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, we can see last year when the pandemic first hit, this ETF saw a decrease of about 34%. But since then, they have recovered quite a bit and are up over 69%. But overall, in the last year, they're up about 13%. And if you take a look at the broader view and pull up their 5-year chart, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF is up over 97%. And this ETF also pays a dividend of 1.50%. And if you do end up holding the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, this ETF contains 509 stocks. And the total fund value of this ETF sits at $637 billion. And the 10 largest holdings in this ETF make up about 28.6%. And those companies include Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan Chase, and Visa. And taking a look at their portfolio composition and how they're diversified, the bulk of the stocks come out of the information technology sector, followed by healthcare, then consumer discretionary, followed by communication services, and the financial sector. And on the risk scale of this ETF, out of a 5, it sits at a 4. So this means if you're holding this ETF, be ready for some wide fluctuations in the share prices because they hold pretty much all of their assets in common stocks. And this will be more beneficial for an investor who has a long-term investment horizon. And ETF number 2 is another Vanguard ETF called the Vanguard Value ETF. And the ticker symbol on this is VTV. And the Vanguard Value ETF, it seeks to track the performance of the CRSP US Large Cap Value Index, which measures the investment return of large cap value stocks. It also provides a convenient way to match the performance of many of the nation's largest value stocks. And just like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, the Vanguard Value ETF also has a very low expense ratio of 0.04%. And it also pays a dividend to its investors of about 2.49%. And if we pull up the 1-year chart for the Vanguard Value ETF, you can see with this one as well, back in March of last year, it also took a steep dive and it saw a drop of over 36%. And just like the rest of the stock market, this has recovered over 59%. But over the course of last year, it's only up 0.79%. And if we zoom out and take a look at the 5-year chart, it is up over 61%. And at the time of recording this video, the Vanguard Value ETF currently trades at $122.33. And in this ETF, it holds 327 stocks with a total fund value of about $97 billion. And the top 10 largest holdings in this ETF make up about 22.1% of the fund. And the top 10 holdings that it holds consist of Berkshire Hathaway, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan Chase, Procter & Gamble, United Health Group, Walt Disney, Verizon Communications, Comcast, Bank of America, and Coca-Cola. And taking a look at their portfolio composition and how they're diversified, their top sector is in the financial sector, followed by healthcare, and right after that is in the industrials sector, and then the consumer staples, and followed by the consumer discretionary discretionary sector. And on the risk scale, out of 5, it's sitting at a 4, just like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. So if you're looking for kind of an evenly distributed ETF, this one would be the best fit for your portfolio and for the long-term investor. And last but not least, the third ETF that we have on the list is the ARK Innovation ETF, and the ticker symbol on this is ARKK. And this ETF defines disruptive innovation as the introduction of a technology-enabled new product or service that potentially changes the way the world works. The companies within this ETF include those that rely on or benefit from the development of new products or services, technological improvements, and advancements in scientific research relating to the areas of DNA technologies, industrial innovation in energy, automation and manufacturing, the increased use of shared technology, infrastructure and services, and technologies that make financial services more efficient. Now, one thing different with the ARK Innovation ETF compared to the other Vanguard funds is that this ETF is actively managed, and it seeks long-term growth of capital by investing under normal circumstances, primarily in domestic and foreign equity securities. And this fund is managed by Cathie. And if you're unfamiliar with who Cathie is, she's the one that predicted that Tesla's price will hit above $6,000 per share. And she's mentioned tons of other companies that have been doing good, and in my opinion, she's a very smart individual when it comes to investing. The ARK Innovation ETF typically has 35 to 55 holdings within the fund, and the total value of the assets in this fund is about $8.9 billion. And at the time of recording this video, currently the ARK Innovations ETF trades at about $141.91. And if we pull up their 1-year chart, and you can see just like every other stock and index fund, they also had a dip back in March due to the pandemic, but it wasn't as severe because they were only down about 42%. And since then, they have exploded and grown over 309%. And overall, for the last year, they're up over 164%. And taking a step back and taking a look at their 5-year chart, they're up over 709%, which is incredible. And the top 10 holdings within this ETF include the famous Tesla, Roku, CRISPR Therapeutics, Square, Teladoc Health, Invite, Zillow, Baidu Inc., Spotify, and Proto Labs. And the ARK Innovations ETF does not pay out a dividend like the other ones that we spoke about with Vanguard. Also, the expense ratio on this ETF is a little bit higher compared to the Vanguard ones, because here the expense ratio is 0.75%. So if you're looking to invest into the ARK Innovations ETF, then you better be able to stomach a ton of volatility, as the companies that are held within this ETF tend to move a lot during their trading days. And in my opinion, this ETF is good for someone who has a little bit of a higher risk tolerance. So if you can handle your investments being a little bit choppy in the short term, in the long term, you'll be rewarded very, very well, in my opinion. And just like that, that's the end of the video for today. If you've made it this far and you've enjoyed the video, thank you for watching all the way through, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also give this video a big thumbs up, as it does help with the YouTube algorithm and it helps support the channel. Also, down in the comments below, leave your favorite ETF and let me know why you like it. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video.